This is the back door of a teaching building in my high school. The wall is cracked. I found out that the back door of the building 1 in my high school has seldom been used since the gym was built. Many of my classmates were experiencing a lack of motivation as the quarantine seemed to be endless at the start of this pandemic. In this work, I project the isolation we felt at that time on this abandoned space in my school and consider our emotional state in the era of COVID in need of repair. I decided to create an installation which aimed to lift up people's mood through the visualization of rhythm. I chose this notation as a typical polyrhythm pattern, or in other words, a multi-layered rhythmic pattern. In fact, polyrhythm have acted as a form of communication in African culture. Each form of African drum that you see here adds a layer of rhythm to the work which I represent in my installation. I walked along this abandoned corner and decided the shape of my installation based on my observations. I added further references to traditional African pattern to add a sense of rhythm to each sculpture. I chose clay as the medium of my installation, for it is produced by nature. Clay as a material cracks in the same way as the wall in the corner of my school. As a result, I used wires to support the inner structures and add more water to bind the clay. I eventually used sandpaper to smooth the surface. I tried several types of clay and decided to use the hardening clay, for its texture brings stability and a sense of weight to the installation. I used acrylic mixed with gouache to color the clay, for the paint stays on the clay well. I fixed the color and remixed the paint several times before completing the installation, as the paint darkens after it dries on the clay. Each sculpture matches a layer of rhythm, which connects to an environmental feature. The base layer represents the initial state of the corner, where the walls were cracked and dead leaves were blown in. The sewer runs along the whole area, which served as the fundamental element of change. Dust covers the sewer in the rainy days, and soil was deposited close to the sewer. The plants were nourished by the soil. They grew all the way around the building and badminton field. Changes were happening as the rhythm went on. The wind causes movement of the leaves and plants, which creates a life cycle within this small corner. My work aims to bring renewed attention to this abandoned corner, creating enjoyment and reminding people about the aesthetic aspects of our surrounding environment. I attempt to bring beauty to a long-forgotten place, and in doing so, symbolizing the repair of our emotional well-being.